Okay, so moving on. Leukocytes, otherwise known as white blood cells. We're going to look at the different types of white blood cells and the functions of white blood cells. We are not really going to look at the formation of them in these videos, but we will talk about it in class. So there are different types of white blood cells, or leukocytes. And what makes them different is the lack of something on the membrane of their cell. And that's called a granule. Some white blood cells have granules, so they are called granulocytes. Other white blood cells do not have these granules on their membrane, so they're called agranulocytes. As you remember, in medical terminology, if the A is in front of the word, it means no, none, not. So no granulocytes. So let's look at granulocytes first, the three types. Neutrophils, basophils, and eosinophils, or eosinophils. It depends how you're going to say it. Or estophils, as some people would say. Agranulocytes include things called lymphocytes, monocytes, and macrophages. Now this is all medical terminology. And let's look at we've seen it in a few of these things, sites. What does site or sites mean? Site means cell. So granulocyte means cell with granules. Agranulocyte means cell without granules. Right? So cell sites, whenever you see it written about anything, means cell or cells. Right? Monocyte meaning single cell. Lymphocyte refers to the body system, or the system it works in. Macrophages means what it does, and we'll look at that in a little bit. So the functions of white blood cells are pretty simple, and then this is a complicated slide, but we'll go through it as simply as we can. Neutrophils defend the body against bacteria or fungal infection. Right? So they are the things that attack bacteria and fungus. Eosinophils, eosinophils deal with parasitic infections and allergic reactions. Monocytes phagocytose pathogens, which means eat. They eat them. And they give antigens. An antigen is what becomes your antibody. Right? It's what will then recognize it in the future. They eat the pathogen and then they get rid of it. Lymphocytes are your helpers, if you like. They are the white blood cells that wander around your blood, in your lymphatic system, which we'll talk about later, and identify foreign bodies. So white blood cells are your soldiers, your guards. They are what identify, attack, and destroy foreign bodies, pathogens that enter your body. Okay, so platelets. Now, before we look at platelets, we're going to take another little break and have a little quiz.